Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney on this channel. We answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users, getting folks the answer they need from an employment attorney. And let's get right into it because I have to make lots of videos because I leave for Miami tomorrow. We have YouTube user Instrumentals with a very dour, very depressing question. Instrumentals says, just tell the people the real details at the end of the day. If you're an average working person, especially a male, then you're going to have to cough up 25 grand for someone like yourself to represent your case in court, no matter how strong the evidence, which 99% of average working people do not have. There is no help if an ADA violation happens to you. Instrumentals, tell me who hurt you. No, listen, yeah, you're kind of right and you're mostly wrong. Is what it comes down to. I don't know who you talk to. I don't know if you're a federal employee. I don't know what's going on with your situation where somebody wanted 25 grand from you. Generally speaking, one of the reasons of this channel that I really urge people over and over and over again to talk to local counsel is that often local counsel can front your expenses on the case, charge you nothing up front, and take a percentage what they win for you. That's fucking incredible. Now, it might be, Ant, that you're not in a place where people do that. And there are significant parts of this country where attorneys don't do that. That sucks. There's also significant parts of this country where there are no plaintiff side employment attorneys. That also sucks. Then you end up dealing with the national firms. But I'll tell you this. If you're a private employee, federal employees is a whole nother game. I would say 25 grand is not enough for a federal employee. I think the average federal employee ends up paying between 30 and 50 grand on a case like this. It is tough to fight the federal government. But if you're a private employee, if you have to go to a national firm, a lot of the national firms excuse me, at the agency level that I'm aware of, will take between $1,000 and $10,000 up front. They generally will front your expenses, and then they, I think, take a percentage of what they win for you. That is my best knowledge of the national firms at the agency level. I don't know if all the national firms even handle agency level, but the ones that do, that I'm aware of, that tends to be around their deal. Now listen, if you have to go on a federal litigation, yeah, it's going to be expensive. You're asking a law firm to fly people in and have local counsel as well, but they're flying attorneys in for you in addition to local counsel, depending on how they do it. Listen, each of the national firms is super different. Like, there's several of the national firms just rely on local counsel. They'll like sign your case up and just pass it off to the local attorneys. And I don't know how they work their fee structure when they do that. I know there's a couple others that I'm aware of that do things like we do. Like we have local counsel, wherever the case is, but we also will end up flying in a trial team, right? To get pro hoc admitted in with the local counsel, excuse me, and actually handle the trial. Maybe even handle the mediation and some sensitive things as well. If you're not hiring someone local, then you're asking a firm to take on that expense. And that is a lot of expense. Listen, I try to fly my attorney's economy. They're spitting my face. No, I'm kidding. They don't want to spit in my face. It's more the potential clients, but I won't take their case. But listen, trying to get trial attorneys to fly economy doesn't work great. And then you got to put them up in a hotel when they land, along with probably a driver or a car, depending on what the situation is and how urban, how New York City they are. Many New York City residents can't actually drive. And then at like 10 p.m., you might get a call being like, this hotel sucks. Why would you put me here? I'm going to the Four Seasons. What? No, we're not paying for the Four Seasons. I'm already there. You better win tomorrow. I'm trying to be funny here, and listen, It never works, right? I'm not funny. We know that. But I'm trying to make light about how expensive it is to fly around these prima donna trial teams who think they're the most important people in the world and, have them work their magic on a case. So if you're going to hire a national firm, yeah, and it goes to litigation or trial, listen, it's whatever deal you work out with the firm you work with. But it could be 25. Could be 25K in that scenario. It could be more, frankly, right? It's one of the reasons why I beg people over and over and over again to search locally. Now, instrumentals, I don't know what happened. I don't know if you're in a place where there's no good counsel. I don't know if your claim was presented in a fashion that nobody really wanted to represent you, and the only offer you got was for someone to charge you $25,000 because they didn't really want to represent you locally. I don't know if you went with a national firm and that's what they charged you. I don't know what happened in your situation, but I can tell you that you posting this could dissuade someone in the future from talking to an employment attorney on a local level. And that employment attorney on a local level might very well have charged $0, no dollars, right, for the consultation. And they might then have made an offer of representation, which, as the upfront fee, again, had $0. And they might have said, listen, let us just front everything for you, and let us try to win, and we'll get paid if we win. And that sounds like that person might have been helped. And when you post this kind of half-assed ignorant shit, where you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, I get it. It was your experience. But it was your experience, not the sum of all experience, right? And that's kind of important, because if it happened to you, that sucks. I'm sad it happened to you. I don't want this for you. But I also don't want you to go around telling people that this happens to everybody, because every case is different and every corner of this country is different. And listen, if you're in Chicago, you're going to have lots of options. If you're in New York, you're going to have lots of options. Southern California, lots of options, generally speaking. There's a lot of parts of this country where Atlanta, so many options. Miami, well, I'm about to meet with a whole bunch of them. You got a bunch of options, right? And in those areas, I don't think the fee structure that you're reporting is the standard is. I believe you are incorrect. Excuse me. And I have a lot of data, years of compiled data and pilfered retainer agreements and spats with counsel over fees and everything else, right? A lot of empirical objective data, verifiable, that tells me you're just not right. You're wrong. Now listen, what you're describing definitely happens to people, and it happens in scenarios that I kind of touched upon already. You're in a part of the country where there's not many plaintiff side employment attorneys, and the ones who are there are real shitty, right? Like, that happens. That's a real thing, and it sucks. And that's in part why the national firms exist, but the national firms are expensive. So I get that you may have had that experience. Also, listen, people with really garbage cases, like if you're talking to local counsel, and local counsel's like, yeah, normally if this was a good case, I would make you a pure contingency offer. But your case sucks. Or another one is, your case sounds pretty good, but you seem like an asshole. So I'm going to charge you a grief fee because you're probably going to act like an asshole for the next 9 to 18 months. Right? Like, that happens too. And instrumentals, I'm not saying you're an asshole. I'm not saying you had a bad case. I don't know what happened. I'm just kind of listing some scenarios where the experience that you had, or that you're reporting you had, could occur. Right? And I'm doing that not to belittle you. I suspect you're a great person who's just very frustrated by an experience that you had. I'm not trying to belittle you. What I'm trying to say is that what you're reporting is not the standard for the industry. Right? We don't know what happened to you. We don't know if you had a bad local attorney. We don't know if you couldn't get good offers. We don't know if you were the national firm and they took you for a bunch of money. I don't know. No matter what happened, I'm bummed out that it happened to you. But I don't think it's necessarily going to happen to other people seeking help. I would think more often than not, that is not what happens. And you kind of mentioned here, it's harder to get an attorney in this industry if you're male. Well, it depends. That is, I think, true if you're trying to bring a gender discrimination or a sexual harassment claim. Generally, I would agree with you. It is harder for men to get representation for those two claims. Now, if you're going to tell me that a racial discrimination case, it's hard to get representation for it if you're male, I strenuously disagree. And again, objectively, I can think of human beings who self-identify as male, who successfully brought claims for a variety of protected classes. And I don't think any of them would say that it was particularly difficult as compared to if they had been a woman. Excuse me, coughing like a, I don't know. So, listen, Ant, I'm not trying to make you mad here. I'm just saying, you're saying things that I don't agree with, that I don't think are true, and those things could hurt some people. And I get why you're frustrated, but I wish maybe you would have some more information before you say things, because these things could hurt some people. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right? Now listen, the national firms are expensive. Yeah. Yeah. That's why I say, go local, go local, go local, go local. I can only say it so many times. I'm not saying go loco. I'm saying go local. Local counsel. Better deal. If you can get good representation on a local level, that is a fantastic thing. I'm very happy for you. I would like to see that happen for you. Anyways, like, subscribe, comment down below. Helps our channel to grow. Instrumentals. I hope everything's okay. Listen, I don't know what happened. I hope your experience didn't ruin the case for you. I hope you at least got something for your claims. I wish you good things. Take care.